Your father initially wasn't so keen on golf. How did the shift happen?
My father was in the Navy. Initially, he had put me into swimming when I was just 3 years old, and then we got posted to Vishakhapatnam where I started playing tennis.
Usually in golf, they say that you lose more than you win.
My parents always made it a point not to focus on the result and the position of the tournament. If my score had improved from last time, they would make sure to we would celebrate even if the position was not as good.
Would you recommend a frequency in a week for junior golfers?
So I play around 3 to 4 rounds of 9 holes in a week, and 6 days I do practice.
You shifted recently to an open school last year. How has that helped you?
It's given me more time to practice and focus on my game. I can study even when I'm traveling.
At what age do you think kids should start specializing in golf?
I started when I was around 6. It becomes really competitive in B category. Around 13 years is where you should be quite serious and committed to golf.
What role does technology play in your training?
When I was just 10 years old, my parents bought the GC Quad, which is a launch monitor, and it's become very helpful because it provides instant feedback about club data and ball data, and that's very important if you want to really get to the highest level.
Welcome to Raising an Athlete.
Yes. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
It's such a pleasure to have you on the show. I must share with you that I think as a sports parent, I'm so looking forward to this conversation. And I think the whole golfing community in India is so excited by the journey you've had and really looking forward to learning from you in this conversation.
Yes, I'm also looking forward.
Thank you. So, Karthik, you've just come back from Japan, and I believe you were recovering from an injury going into that tournament. So, how was your experience, both in terms of recovery and getting back into the tournament mode?
Yes, so the experience of the tournament itself was quite good. Playing at a international level, it was a good experience, and I'm also really grateful to God that I was able that now I've fully recovered from the injury and I was able to play the tournament without any pain.
That's fantastic. Karthik, also share a little bit. It would be great to begin actually to hear a little bit about your early journey. Like, how did golf even start for you? So, take us back to the first time you picked up a golf club. How old were you, and what was that moment like?
Yes, so I was 6 years old when I started playing golf, and I remember when I first hit the ball and just seeing it go in the air, it made me really happy, and I've been trying to just keep replicating that feeling. And
Right. Did someone in your family play golf?
yes, my father used to play golf, and one day I accompanied him to the golf course and I saw him hitting some shots, and I was like, I also want to try. So I started hitting, and I immediately fell in love with the game.
I did read that your father initially was more keen for you to probably pursue another sport, wasn't so keen on golf. How did the shift happen?
Yes, so my father was in the Navy, so he was very keen on putting me into sports from a young age. But golf wasn't the first option as it's a very individual sport. So initially, he had put me into swimming when I was just 3 years old. I started learning how to swim, and then we got posted to Vishakhapatnam where I started playing tennis for some time, and then after that we got posted in Cochin. That's where I there was a golf course nearby, so that's where I picked up golf.
Fantastic. And I think he took you for an assessment to a coach in Karnataka.
Yes, so when I was 6 only, he had taken me to Karnataka in KGA, the Karnataka Golf Association, which is one of the best courses in the country. A lot of good coaches are there because in the golf course I started, there were not any proper certified coaches there. So he took me there to the professional coach just to get the assessment for, and the coach over there, he told my father that I'm very talented and that I should pursue the golf more seriously. So that's how I started playing more seriously.
Okay. So where did you learn in your early years?
I started in Cochin only. Where my father was posted, there was a golf course just cycling distance from my house. So I started playing there. There was the local coach. His name was Alex. So he's the one who taught me initially, and that's where I started learning. And then when after the assessment in Bangalore, that's when we decided that we would take it more seriously. And in Cochin, the golf course, it was only 9 holes, and there wasn't a proper putting green or chipping green. There was just not a very proper practice facility. So that's when I shifted here to Delhi and I started playing here when I was around 7.
So, now you've won countless junior tournaments, both in India and overseas. Do share with us of all these victories, which is the one that really stands out for you?
I think two tournaments are there which are very special for me. Firstly was last year in the All India Junior Boys Championship, it was actually in KGA only where I had gone for the assessment. So in KGA, I had won the All India Junior Boys by 9 strokes in the A and B combined category, even though that time I was in B category, I was 14, and I won the A and B combined by 9 strokes. And just having my name on the trophy, it was a really special feeling for me.
Yeah, I think it is incredible that you've dominated not just your own category, but given competitors in the category above you a run for their money, quite literally. And also, I think you have the unique distinction of being a part of both the national junior team as well as the national amateur team. What was some of the early challenges?
I'd say in my very early years when I just started picking up the sport, because where I started in Cochin, there was no chipping green or putting green in the golf course. So my short game was not very good because there was no way to practice that. So when I shifted here, my father he made it very important that I improve the short game, because it's very important to have a good short game and putting if you want to perform at a high level. So he took me to many coaches, multiple places. He took me to practice and learn, and that's how eventually I was able to make my short game quite good.
Okay, that's great. Usually in golf they say that you lose more than you win. Did you experience this early on, and how did you navigate this?
In the early years, I didn't. That time I was just starting, but my parents always made it a point not to focus on the result and the position of the tournament, but to focus more on myself and my score and how I played. Did I follow the process? So even if my result wasn't as good in terms of the position, if my score had improved from last time, they would make sure to that we would celebrate even if the position was not as good.
Yeah, so I think that's a great point that all of us golfing parents should remember. Tracking really the score and shift in the growth in your own game more than obsessing about the position. What advice would you give to young golfers who are yet to win or haven't had a great run recently?
Yeah, so I'll just say keep focusing on the process and keep trying to improve your game and focusing just on yourself and trying to improve your game, trying to improve your scores, and the results of the tournaments will follow.
Right, great. Karthik, I do want to touch a little bit about your golfing approach and how do you approach a round or a tournament? Are you driven by a scores that you want to achieve? Is there an outcome that you have in mind?
So there's no specific score or any outcome. For every tournament or round, I just focus on the process and giving my best and just doing whatever I can, focusing on my score, focusing on the process and accepting the result.
What does the process look like for you?
Just being disciplined and knowing that I've put the hard work in the practice and just following my routine and maintaining the routine and process throughout the round on every shot and just giving my best in the game.
Right. So, just talking about your approach to golf, so I want to speak a little about course management, which is such an important part of playing well. Things like choosing the right club or, really knowing when to play safe or take a risk. Have you worked on improving on this over the years? How have you done that? And was it something that you picked through your own experience or did your coach help you with course management?
Yes, so course management is one of the most important aspects of the game because practicing on the range and playing on the course are two completely different things. And my coach also, he helped me with the technique and the parts of the swing a lot on the range, but he couldn't accompany me on the course very much. So in my early days, when I was around 7 or 8, that's when my father, he used to take me on the course and he would teach me course management and how to make the correct decisions on the course, because that's very important if you want to play good. It's not just because you have to have all the shots, but it's important to know which shot to use and how to play the correct shot.
So, any advice again for junior golfers who are just starting out? Because I don't think sometimes there is enough emphasis on course management. While there are golf lessons and there's a lot of emphasis on practice, but sometimes and that some leads to a difference between performance, let's say, on the range versus on the golf course.
I think the best way to improve course management is just to play as many rounds as you can under the supervision of either your coach or someone who has knowledge of the game. Learn how to make the correct choices for yourself.
Right. So, supervised help is of value early on for young players because as they're still learning to make the decisions, differentiating between different choices they could make, an expert with you, guiding you on that journey.
I think that having an expert guiding you on the course is helpful for any level, even for me or even for Scotty Scheffler, everyone. I think it's very helpful to have someone guiding you and helping you out.
Right. Would you recommend a certain cadence, like a frequency to say in a week for junior golfers? How should they break it up between practice, between playing rounds? If you have 7 days in a week, would you recommend there is a ideal, breakup of how you could do this?
So I personally play around 3 to 4 rounds of 9 holes in a week, and 6 days I do practice.
Okay. Another thing that I want to ask you is about the caddy. Now, some players prefer working with the same caddy, and there are others who choose a local one depending on the course conditions. What's been your approach so far?
I've always, since I started playing tournaments, I've always been taking a local caddy because I feel my parents and my team, they always say that long term you have to learn how to make the decisions for yourself and not relying on the caddy too much. So I've always taken a local caddy and done most of the decision making myself.
Okay, that's fantastic. So I'm assuming I would have loved to ask you what your recommendation would be for other kids, but I think that's typically what happens if you take a caddy with you all the time. Sometimes you end up relying too much on their experience or their input, which in a way comes in the way of making independent decisions.
Yes, I feel like if you rely on the caddy too much, especially when you're picking up and just starting out playing tournaments, in the starting, it's very important to learn how to make the decisions for yourself and not relying on the caddy too much. It'll help in the long term.
Which are the aspects on which players should be taking inputs from the caddy, and which would you define as ones that they should completely rely on their own judgment?
I mean, it's very subjective because it depends a lot on the player and the caddy. But I feel like normally for a local caddy on the greens, I feel like they can help out in the putting because they've been caddying in that course for 20 years and you just came 2 days back. So they will have more knowledge on the greens. But I also find it's not, for me personally, when I rely completely on the caddy, it doesn't help. So I normally just take their input and make the decision for myself.
Right. Now, you've been dominating the domestic circuit for a while now. You've continued to play so actively at home when you're also competing internationally. What's your thinking behind that?
So me, my team, my parents, they always say not to overthink it too much. So we treat every tournament, domestic or international, amateur, professional, we try to treat it the same with the same preparation and same mindset going into the tournament. And the domestic tournaments, the competition in India is quite good because even when I was in B category, I always aimed to win the A and B combined, so which had around 80 players in every tournament. So that was always pushing me to play the best that I can to win the A and B combined.
So you felt that the domestic circuit has offered good competition?
Yes.
Okay. What ways has the domestic circuit helped you strengthen your game?
I think just that playing with the older kids, because when I was in B category, I was always playing with the A and B category. So mostly they were the older kids in A category. So just playing with them, I feel like that really helped me strengthen my game. And because I have to really push myself to play the best that I can if I want to beat the higher category and the better player and the older players. So that helped me push my game and make sure that I play the best. So because then only I'll win.
There was also an interesting anecdote from 2024, almost 3 days before the Junior Players Championship at Sawgrass. You were actually playing at an IGU event in Panchkula, and a lot of people were like, "Why isn't he in Florida prepping already?" Uh, Now, a lot of players probably would reach in advance, maybe 7 days before and play multiple practice rounds. When you're playing an international tournament, how do you usually prepare? How early do you arrive? How many practice rounds are you looking at?
So I try to, as I said, I try to treat every tournament with the same mindset and same preparation. I don't like changing the preparation before a different tournament. So even for an international tournament, I try to get 2 practice rounds if it's possible. But most of the international tournaments, they only give you 1 practice round. So I'll reach 1 day before the practice round to get a bit adjusted to the new time zone and new weather and everything. And then I'll play 1 practice round and then start the tournament.
Does that give you sufficient time to acclimatize to the local conditions?
I think I've gotten used to it playing so many tournaments. I think I've gotten used to just 1 or 2 days in advance. So I think my body is able to adjust now.
What's the difference, in your opinion, when you play domestic tournaments versus international? What really is the key difference?
I'd say the field and the power of the tournament is much larger outside. But in any tournament, domestic or international, I try to focus on myself and focus on my game, my score, and giving the best that I can. Because my parents and my team, they always say that if you can hit a good shot in a domestic tournament, you can hit a good shot in an international tournament also. Nothing in terms of the golf, like as my father says, there nothing changes. Like it's the same grass, same air, same golf club. So if you're able to play well in domestic tournaments, you'll be able to play well in international tournaments too.
Right. I came across a few childhood pictures of you, and it's clear that you've become a lot fitter over the years. Now, how have you worked on the fitness front?
So when I was around 10 years old during the COVID, my father and my coach, my team, they decided, because that time I was quite overweight, so they knew that it's not going to work out. Now I'm able to play because I was just 9, 10 years old. So now I'm able to manage, but when I have to play 4 days and play at the highest level, it's not going to work with that fitness. So when I was 10, I started working with a proper fitness trainer, and I cut down on my diet a lot because earlier I used to eat a lot of junk food, burgers, pizza. Lost around, I think, almost 17 or 18 kgs in the lockdown.
Okay. How did you manage to do that?
Just cutting down on the food a lot. I used to eat a lot. I think it was more about the diet than the fitness, because even before that I would do little bit of workout with my father. But I think just because the diet was not good, so just cutting down on the amount of food in general and on the quality of food, type of food, I think that really helped me lose the weight alongside the training.
We were talking about your fitness. I did
Yeah.
see some of your COVID time videos when you're doing yoga. So we often hear that for young children, they should focus on playing other sports. But there's also view that you should probably go in for specialized exercise with a fitness expert or a physio. Do you have a view on what kind of a fitness routine should junior golfers be aiming at?
I think the fitness, it depends a lot on the age of the kid and how their body is at that time. So I think for younger kids, it's better to do mostly the body weight exercises. But when you get older, you should start lifting more of the weights and doing exercises like that.
Okay, so you're saying in favor of specialized exercise rather than just playing an alternate sport.
I think for me, when I was younger, I wasn't doing any specialized exercises. It was like the fitness trainer I was working with, he wasn't specified for golf or for sports. He was more of a he was quite young himself. He was a gym person like that. So he was more whole body exercises for the overall strength.
One of the big challenges that juniors face is that they have to focus both on their school, their academics, as well as put in effort on golf constantly to improve their performance. Now, until grade 7, you were in a regular school, and I believe you shifted recently to an open school last year. What made you decide to make that change, and how has that helped you?
It's been quite helpful as it's given me more time to practice and focus on my game, as there's much more flexibility with the open school. And also because I was playing so many tournaments, I started when I was younger, there weren't as many tournaments, so I could still go to school and everything. But recently, because of the international tournaments, the invites, there's so many tournaments that I'm playing that, anyways, most of the time I'm outside, so I don't have the time to go to school or study in a conventional way. So the open schooling is helpful as I can study even when I'm traveling.
And what factors would you kind of recommend to juniors or their parents to consider when they're considering such a shift?
I think it depends a lot on, if you're very sure that you want to pursue sports, then I think open schooling is quite helpful because it gives a lot more time to focus on the sport. But if you're not sure if you want, if it's sports or academics, then probably better to stay in the regular school so that you always have the backup option of academics. But if you're very sure that you want to pursue sports, then it's better to go to open schooling.
Right. One concern that comes sometimes with open schools is of social experience, like of your friends, because when you go to school, you get to meet your friends. How have you balanced, your friendships and time with your friends?
I have few friends from golf in the golf course, and that's about it. Not many, no real friends outside golf. Not many.
Okay, so you're happy with the friends that you have at golf and spending time with them.
Yes, I feel like that's the, for anyways, if you're not going to school, that's the best I can do. And it's good because sometimes I can play golf with them also. So that's also one way to spend time together. And I feel like if you're pursuing a sport, sometimes you have to like sacrifice the social exposure and having the friend group and everything. That's something you have to sacrifice and focus on the sport if you want to become really good.
Right. I also want to come to a little bit of advice for parents and young athletes. Now, at what age do you think kids should start specializing in golf if they want to pursue it seriously?
I think there's no specific age. I mean, for any sport, the earlier you start, it's the best. I started when I was around 6, so I think that's a good age to start because that's when I started. But I think the golf, it becomes really competitive and serious in B category because that's when you compete with A and B category, which is under 18. So I'd say around 13 years is where you become quite serious in golf. So I think by that time, the person should be quite serious and committed to golf if they want to pursue it as a career or be serious in it. I think around 13 is when they have to be sure that they want to pursue this.
Okay, and they should have started earlier, sooner, so that they're at that point at 13 to be making a decision.
Yeah, slightly earlier.
And now you've met so many young golfers, and I'm sure their families. What common mistakes do you see parents making, or young athletes making, and how can they avoid those?
I mean, I wouldn't like to comment on the parents because they have much more experience. As for the kids, I think I see a lot of young kids, they focus more on the result, that this tournament he came third, this one came seventh. I think that's less important, and it's more important to focus on the score, how much you scored, and how well you played, how much you followed the process. I think that's more important to focus on.
It takes, some amount of mental toughness to be able to do that as well, right? Because so much is at stake. Like you're saying that if you're really sure, like if someone's dropping out of school, the stakes are really high because they're making a certain decision in that direction. How do you keep, this whole thing about winning not overplay in your mind, and how do you keep your mental toughness going and not let that overwhelm you?
I think it's just mentally you have to be strong for any sport, not just golf. No athlete plays their best every single day. Even the best athletes in the world, they also have bad days. So it's just important to remember that you've done the hard work and that you have the potential to bounce back, and the next time you can do much better.
If you're going through a very rough moment in your round, do you have a hack that you use which works for you to come back into the game?
I don't think there's any hack. I just tried not to think about anything bad that happened and just focus on the next shot, because there's the saying that the most important shot in golf is the next shot. So I just try to focus on that and just keep following my process, sticking to the routine and knowing that I've done the work I had to do on the range and that I have the potential to execute the shot.
Right. So full faith on the routine and full confidence in your ability to be able to execute that.
Yes.
Okay. What qualities do you think matter most for young athletes? I mean, many things. Talent is important, discipline and passion and resilience, all of these play a role. But to help us understand in your mind what separates good from great.
Yes, I think everything that you said, all of those aspects are very important for an athlete, but talent can only take you so far. After that, you need the discipline and the hard work to reach the next level.
Who are your personal role models or icons, and what did you learn from them?
As many other people's, my role model is Tiger Woods, especially how coming because due to his color, he faced a lot of discrimination growing up, and he was able to overcome that and become the greatest the sport has ever seen and dominate the highest level of golf.
Wonderful. Also, I want to ask you a little bit in terms of the accessibility and perception of golf. Like, many see golf as an expensive sport. Is that true from your experience? And how can middle class families plan it sustainably?
Yes, so golf is compared to other sports, it's definitely on the expensive side compared to the other sports. But I myself come from a middle class family only, so if I'm able to sustain golf as a middle class person, I think anyone can do it.
How have you gone about, or what are the things that have helped you in finding the support that you need?
So when I was younger, my father, when we decided that we're gonna take golf seriously and focus on golf, make it one of the priorities, that's when my mother also, she picked up a job. She used to work, she was also in the Indian Navy. But then when I was around 2 years old, she retired so that she could take care of me and help me as I was growing up. But when we decided to take golf seriously and become more competitive in golf, we knew that because of the tournaments and the coaching, we're gonna need more financial support. So that's when she picked up a job. She's in Indigo Airlines in Gurgaon. So then we shifted here, and because of that job, we were able to sustain the practice and the fees for coaching and tournaments and everything. And now that because of my good performance, I was able to get some support from other foundations and sponsors.
You know, I had this conversation with your dad, and I think what stood out for me was that it takes incredible amount of sacrifice and belief. They put in, I think, the very best in terms of training, equipment, coaching, and yes, I think in due time you showed promise. I think that's an important lesson, that if you put in all the effort from your end, hopefully it translates in your performance and you will have support.
Yes, because my parents never let it happen that I don't have the best equipment or the best coaching. They always made sure that that we're able to afford the best equipment and best coaching that we have. And that's why, because of that support, I was able to get the most out of my practice and get the most out of the equipment. And that's how I was able to perform.
Right. I also want to speak about your training and the recent transition from junior to amateur. Now, one of the big highlights this year was your amateur debut at the India International Series. I was in the crowd at DLF, and it was just so amazing to see all these young kids running after you for your autograph, and really the whole Indian golfing community cheering you on. What was that experience like for you? What was it playing with stars like Bryson DeChambeau?
Yes, I'd say that tournament was the most memorable week of my life. Being part of such a big tournament, playing the likes of Bryson DeChambeau and Anirban Lahiri, those are the people that I watch on TV, and I still watch them on TV. And just getting to play with them, it felt like a dream. And especially at my home course, playing at home with all my friends and supporters coming out to cheer me, it was a great experience.
Did it feel different for you? You said it's your home ground, so did it feel different or special in some way,
Yeah.
or was it a routine for you once you started your round?
Yes, I was trying to, as I said, focus on my game and just focusing on my process. But it did feel very special to be playing in my home course where I play a lot, and that did help me feel more comfortable knowing that I've played this course hundreds of times. But it did definitely feel a bit new because I'm not used to hundreds of people following. That's something I'm not used to. So that was definitely a very special experience.
Lovely. Now, also, golf looks so glamorous. There's travel, lush courses, there are big tournaments. Which is the part that you actually love most, and which is the part that's much harder than it looks?
I think the part that I like the most is playing the new golf courses across the world because I really enjoy playing new courses in different types of weather, different types of courses. That's always a good experience. I think the hardest part is definitely the traveling across the world, long flights, some most of the time multiple long flights, and the time difference, staying in hotels, and the language also in a lot of the places. So that's one difficulty. Also, staying away from my mother because most of the time she doesn't travel with me. So that's also quite difficult.
Right. Which brings me, like, I'd love to know the role that your parents have played in your journey. I mean, they've been part of your team. They are Team Karthik. When you started off, what was the role that your dad played and mom played, and has that changed over a period of time?
Yes, so whatever I became is because of my parents. They're the one who put me into golf. They're the one who took me to play the tournaments. And because when I was 6 years old, I didn't know what was golf. They're the one who introduced me. So my father, he was the one who introduced me to golf, and he's the one who was like my first half coach, you can say. And he's the one who really did a lot of the research on where to take the tournaments, where to take coaching. All the research and planning was done by him. So he really helped a lot in the journey, and he's still helping a lot on where to go next, how to plan it out, and where to go from here.
And about your mom?
Yes, she also, as I said, the job, it was a very big decision because she was retired from the Navy and then she picked up a job in Gurgaon. But my father, that time he was posted in Cochin. So for I think around 2 years, me and my mother, we were living in Gurgaon when he was still posted in Cochin. So staying alone, just me and my mother, it's obviously it takes a lot of courage and it's quite a difficult decision to do, but she did that for my golf because the best practice facilities are in Delhi. So she shifted here so that I could practice in the best facilities. And actually, the day we landed in Delhi, before opening the suitcase, she opened the golf clubs and took me to practice in the golf course in Delhi.
Right. And credit to her also. Her, irrespective of your performance, she would always cheer you. And I think this is when you were young. Every tournament would end with probably a visit to the play area or a nice meal outside.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when I was young, there was one tournament where I think some issue I was there. It was a small 9 hole tournament. I was in E category at that time. I was 7 years old. So that was one of the first tournaments I was playing. So in that tournament, the person who was writing my scorecard, he wrote his score instead of my score and my score instead of his score. So that's why I think he got the first position and I came very behind. But even after, instead of scolding me for messing up the scorecard and not checking it properly, instead my mother took me out to celebrate to the mall. She said that I played a good round and that I learned how to do the other things. That one I can learn with time. I learn. What's more important is that I played good.
So that's beautiful because I think you won, irrespective of whether that got recognized or not. And I think a very valuable thought that she shared with you is that you learned something very important. Your dad has taken retirement now from the Navy after a long service, and that's a critical decision that he's taken to support your journey. What prompted that decision, and how has that really evolved?
It was a very big decision to retire from the Navy because he was one of the best officers. So the main reason he retired was to support me in my golf because he had already served in Delhi for 4 years, so they were posting him outside Delhi. And if we leave Delhi, then me and my mother would still be staying in Delhi only because this is where the best golf courses are there. So if he would leave, then by the time he comes back, I would already be 18 years old. And at that time, there's no real help he can do. The player I would have become by that time is all the development and everything would have happened by that time. So he decided to retire from the job so that he can help me with my practice and help me become a better player in the development because this is a very important phase because this is really when the competition becomes quite serious.
I think that is a big decision to take, but also important. Given your performance and how you've been progressing over years, I think it was a critical juncture and a very important choice to make. Now, also, I want to ask, how has your training evolved as you've stepped into tougher competitions, and what does a typical week look like now for you?
So the training, it has evolved because playing a lot of these big tournaments, it really helps put into perspective the competition at the highest level, and it helps me push myself to im- improve and get my game even better. And typically in a week I play around 6 days, and 3 2 days I do fitness, and around 3 to 4 9 hole rounds I play in a week.
And what role does technology play in your training, and do you use it to enhance your performance?
Yes, technology is very helpful in my training. As when I was just 10 years old, my parents, because they had the long term vision, they bought the GC Quad, which is a launch monitor, and I've been using it in my practice, and it's become very helpful because it provides with instant feedback about the data, club data, and ball data, and that's very important if you want to really get to the highest level.
That's interesting. So you got the equipment, the monitor for your own use, and I mean, a lot of people would use that at, let's say, the facility, but you have one, which means that you have access quite intimately to that knowledge.
Yes, I can use it. It's because it's mine. I can use whenever I want, as much as I want.
Right, right. Fantastic. So before I come to the last segment, I just wanted to do a quick rapid fire round with you. Just, some fun. So if you weren't playing golf, what sport might you be pursuing?
Probably swimming, because that's the sport my father had initially put me in, and he was a diver in the Navy, so he also was very good at swimming, and I think that's the sport I would probably be pursuing if not for golf.
A golfer you'd love to play around with.
Tiger Woods.
What do you do for fun?
I like doing Rubik's cubes, and I play chess online sometimes.
What's the last movie that you saw?
I watched the F1 movie day before yesterday.
Any superstition or quirky ritual that you have before a round?
No such ritual. I don't have any superstition.
Lovely. Okay, so just one final segment, Karthik. So looking ahead, what's next on your calendar? Any tournaments or milestones that you're excited about?
So right now I have a bit of a break, and the next tournament that I'm playing is in August. It's the R&A Boys Amateur. It's in UK. So that's the next tournament, and then after that, September to December, I have tournaments lined up mostly in India, so I'm preparing for that.
Fantastic. You also were the only junior boy selected for the prestigious Target Olympic Podium Scheme by the Indian government, and I think that's a huge recognition. Now, looking ahead, which Olympic edition do you dream of representing India at and hopefully winning for the country?
Yes, so my goal is to represent India at the next 2028 LA Olympics, and so in the cycle for the selection of the Olympics will start in 2026. So around that time is when I have to start playing and preparing for the Olympics.
Fantastic. Very excited about that. I think would be one of the youngest debuts, at least from the golf players in India, on Olympics. Karthik, thank you so much for having this conversation. It's just so inspiring to see your journey, and I think so many of us who are part of the golfing community are really rooting for you. All the very best for your future, for all the tournaments that's coming forward, and most excited about Olympics. May you, make it for the LA edition, and may you win a gold for India.
Thank you.